Hi, today we're going to discuss about Maven lifecycle and a couple of important commands in the Maven. So, as we all know, how to install Maven and what is the importance of Maven. So, I just want to reiterate whatever we have done so far. We installed Apache Maven in our local system. Obviously, Maven is dependent on Java, and Maven is a Java build tool. So, for compiling and packaging the Java project, people use Apache Maven. So Java C can be used for obviously like a for single files and couple of files, but obviously like Maven is more organized way of for handling the compilation and packaging, and it does various things. So let's look into the Maven commands. Uh, in as part of the Maven commands, basically Maven is following the life cycle. If I go to Maven website, where we can see the Maven is having life cycle. So as part of the life cycle, each stage is referring one command, which is a validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, and deploy. Total, it is having seven stages, I would say. And any higher stage, if you take a package, it is basically performing all the previous commands or previous stages together. We don't really, if you say package, it is performing a validation, it is performing a compilation, test, and as well as package. So let's look into detail about validation. So validate the project is correct all necessary information is available. So that's what the validation is. And the compilation is compile the source code of the project. It does only the compilation. And test, it is where it is performing the test compilation and as well as performing the tests as well. Like you remember src main Java, src test Java. It is uh, it tests the compiled source code using basically it performs the tests. So the compilation is where it compiles the source code, and test is something like it is performing the tests whatever we have written. And the packaging is where the entire compiled code it will be packaged into distribution format, distributable format. That's where you can ship the outcome into different locations or different servers, or if you want to share the outcome, you can share it with anyone. So that's where the package is. Obviously, verify if you have any kind of integration test to ensure the quality criteria are met. Obviously, it's about uh, verifying the any end-to-end integration scenarios. And install is very important. We will look into that. Basically, it will store the outcome into local repository. It will store into our local repository. Deploy is something, the name says install and deploy is slightly different than, don't think that if when we say install, it's not like it is installing into your actual system. Install is something like the outcome, whatever is been generated, it is dropping into one place in your local system. That's what it is. And the deploy is the same file, the outcome, whatever we generated, that is going to drop in the centralized location in our uh, organization or in a centralized internal repository. Okay, a remote repository, we call it as. Okay, we'll look into that later. For now, I'm focusing more on these first initial four steps, which will give a kind of complete understanding what exactly the Maven is doing. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are the stages which we have in the Maven life cycle. It is really important when somebody is asking about Maven, you should be having complete understanding of what are the stages we have in the Maven life cycle and what it does basically, the importance of each and every stage. So MVN validate. Suppose if I go to command prompt, if I'm executing MVN command, I should be executing the command from where I have a pom.xml. You can't execute it from anywhere. I need to execute it from only wherever I have pom.xml. Basically, I can't see the XML because the extension has been hidden. File name extension. I just opened it so you can see pom.xml. The file name is pom.xml. Wherever we have a pom.xml, we need to execute mvn compile or MVN validate. Let's look one by one. MVN validate. It is validating the project, the entire project. So and says success. It has been validation has been done. Then when I do compile, this is where it's going to compile the code, the source code, whatever you've written, the entire class file, sorry, entire Java files is going to convert it as a class files. You can see there is a target folder has been generated. So within the target folder, if I see classes, com, DevOps, you can see the main class file has been generated. The for the main application.java, I got a class file. If I go back, yeah, then if I run the test, this is the third step in the life cycle. This is going to perform the executing the test cases what we have. If you see, it is also compiled the test cases and as well as perform the execution of the tests. If I go to target folder again, you can see test classes. So before it was classes, now I got a test classes. Within the test classes, com, DevOps, and application test.class file. So as part of the compile stage, we got compiled SRC main Java code, whatever is there. As part of the test stage in the life cycle, I got SRC test Java got compiled. It doesn't matter how many files we have now. So everything is created as part of the target folder. So target is our placeholder for the output. Within the target folder, we got classes and test classes. Okay, so always Java files is going to convert as a class files. We got that. Now we verified, we validated and compiled and the test. Now it's a package. So MBN package. So what package does is the outcome, whatever we got so far, we got the compiled version of all the class files. Those are all wrapped into a outcome, the output file. So that output file will be generated as part of the package. So let me execute a package. Again, this package also will be getting generated within the target. So everything will be generated within the target folder. So now if you see building a jar, so jar is basically an output, Java archive. So any Java project if you take, the output will be Java archive, jar. There are three type of outputs we can generate within the jar, within the Java projects. Jar, var, er. Jar is Java archive, var is web archive, er is enterprise archive. So what we talk about is we talk about Java now. We talk about jar now. Later on stages we'll talk about var. What is basically var? So this is a Java project, a simple Java project where it will be having only the logic and you are writing a logic, you are writing the test cases. That logic is wrapped into a outcome. The output file is .jar file. Okay, so now you may ask a question like on what basis, where and all, what, where and all it's been defined, what is the file name, what is the version number. If you remember correctly, I executed a command to generate a project. This is the command I executed, archetype generate, group ID, artifact ID, and version number. With this information, basically there is a file called pom.xml. This pom.xml, I would say it's the heart of the project. So without this pom.xml, Maven doesn't work. So Maven can't recognize the project at all. This entire Java project, Maven can't recognize. Within this pom.xml, if I open, you can see pom.xml is basically XML format. These are the things which are really important: group ID, artifact ID, and version number. And also it has been defined some of the project properties and dependencies. So these dependencies are really useful. Like we are running the we are running the test cases, right? We are running the uh, unit test. So for that, we need to have a dependency called JUnit. So in Java, whatever the test cases we run with we call it as JUnits, right? So this is the dependency is required for performing the compilation and running the tests. So without this, we can't really perform the tests. And and also there is one more thing called plugin. So plugin is basically if you want to extend any functionality within the Maven, we will be using a plugins. It can be um, it can be anything. For suppose if you want to perform a scanning of your code for any kind of vulnerabilities or suggestions, you can have additional plugin. So the plugins will extend the Maven functionality. Suppose, as I mentioned, right, we have a Maven lifecycle. That means 7 stages. What in case if I want to add additional functionality or maybe new features? Those are the things you can add it through plugin. So for now, there is one plugin where it is telling that Maven Surefire plugin. It's basically a report. When you run a JUnit test, you can generate a report. That report functionality has been added as part of this. If I go to target folder, there will be a report here, Surefire reports. So this Surefire report came because of this plugin. If I don't have this plugin configured here or removed it, you don't see the Surefire report. If I go to Surefire reports, you can see a report in the XML format. A report is generated within the XML format. Let me see if there is any HTML report here. Now we don't have any HTML report. We have only the Surefire reports, which is in the XML format. Okay, so this report you can obviously there are some tools which can understand XML report and they can read and show you in the proper HTML report format, which what I mean to say is in the pom.xml, the functionality is extended with a plugin. Okay, you can add as many plugins we like and get it extended. So the pom.xml is a key for Maven project. So without pom.xml, Maven can't understand the Java project. If I remove this pom.xml, Maven can't read this SRC, whatever the stuff it is there, it can't really understand. So it has to have pom.xml. It is really we call it as a project object model, and Maven it is a really key. So within that Maven, within the pom.xml, we define group ID, artifact ID, and version number. We see group ID and artifact ID and version number. At any point of time, if you want to change the version number from 1.0.0 to 1.0.1, save it, then do mvn package. If you see go to target folder, you see that 100 should change it to 101, or you will get another file with 101. You see 101 we got. So now I'm keep getting another file. Why I'm getting this file? So this target folder is the output for every time when you run. It's an output which we need to clear every time. So if you want to clear every time, so you can use mvn clean command. This clean command will basically clear the target folder. So we don't want have any previous output what we generated in the past executions. When you do mvn clean package or mvn compile every time it's going to generate a new outcome. I don't want the previous one, whatever we generated, right? So mvn clean, what it does is it will clear the target folder every time and it will recreate a fresh copy of target. I mean, it's a fresh target folder where you won't be having any previous files. If you see now 100, 101, both will go away and 101 will come again because of pom.xml is having 101 version number. You can see simple project 101.jar file. So this is how the project compilation happens and you can see the target folder. Yeah. So this is how we compile the code by using Maven. I hope you got a kind of basic understanding of few Maven lifecycle and you are able to also compile the code, compile them by using Maven. Hope you like this video. Uh, Please do share and subscribe. Thank you.